conveyed to the appropriate newspapers and posted in the board office, 3 schools, municipal building, and filed with the clerk of the Borough of Emerson. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is called to order at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mr. Garlick?
Here.
Mrs. Mara?
Here.
Mrs. Riccardi?
Here.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Pasdar?
Here. Thank you. Mrs. Mara, can I get a motion to open the meeting to the public for
Sure.
input and comments?
I move to open the meeting to the public for input and comments on agenda items only.
Seconded.
Seconded by Mr. Grolick. All in favor?
Aye.
No comments. Mrs. Riccardi, would you close the meeting for to the public?
I motion to close the meeting to public for input and comments.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Mara. All in favor?
Aye.
The board has had an opportunity to review the agenda items related to the budget. And with that, Mr. Grolick, would you mind adopting motion A, resolution A?
I move to adopt all items on the above consent agenda.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Mara. Roll call, please.
Mr. Garlick?
Aye.
Mrs. Mara?
Aye.
Mrs. Riccardi?
Aye.
Mr. Pasdar?
Aye. Thank you. Mr. Grolick, could you open the meeting to the public for input and comments?
I move to open the meeting to the public for input and comments.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Mara. All in favor?
Aye.
Mrs. Riccardi, would you mind closing the meeting?
Sure. I move to close the meeting to public for input and comments.
Seconded.
Seconded by Mr. Grolick. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And Mrs. Mara, would you mind closing us out?
Sure. I move to close the meeting to the public and adjourn at 6:02 p.m.
All in favor?
Seconded.
Seconded by Mr. Grolick. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Take care.
Thank you.